guys. You know shit's fucked up when I'm drinking a smoothie. No, okay, I don't want to worry you guys. Everything's amazing. Everything's great. I'm doing fine. I'm gonna catch you guys up on a few things really quick. I'm not gonna take too long. First things first, I found my place in Miami. For those of you that don't know, I was moving to Miami and I finally found a place, and so now I'm just back in Los Angeles and I'm packing all my shit and then I'm going back to Miami. Everything's great. I haven't been able to upload. I don't know if anybody fucking noticed, but this past week I didn't upload and it drove me crazy. Thank you so much for just being patient, for just being there. I know I say that all the time, but like seriously, thank you. I'm posting today and I'm also gonna be posting this Saturday for sure, which brings me to my next topic, my video on Saturday. I'm gonna tell you what the video is about, but you have to promise not to get mad at me. I'm gonna be doing a video with the guy that I wrote Bitch Please about. For those of you that don't know, I released a song a while ago that was called Bitch Please. That song was based off of my real life, and I made an entire video on the story behind Bitch Please. If you want to see that, I'll link it down below. I suggest you watch that video, get yourself prepped, okay, lube up, because I'm gonna be filming a video with him, and he is going to be answering your questions. For those of you that don't know, this was someone who, yep, he really fucked up, like really bad. A lot of people got mad at me when they found out I was making a video with him, but to be honest, he's not a bad person, he just did a lot of bad things. Like, I was talking to him the other day and I was like, you're just like so shitty to date, but you're like a good person. It's very confusing. Whatever, point is, I want you guys to ask me questions below that you have for him. He knows they're gonna be brutal, he knows they're gonna be intense, and he's willing to answer them. More than likely we'll be very, very fucked up because I don't know how I'm gonna do that video sober. But yes, comment below any questions you have for the guy who I wrote Bitch Please about. Oh god. And last thing I wanted to address, I know this intro is so long, sorry, fuck. My makeup channel, if you don't know, I started a second channel. Everyone's like, are you posting on there? What's happening? Yes, I am posting on there. Hopefully starting next week is when I can consistently start posting. I haven't wanted to start because I didn't want to start posting when I couldn't do it consistently, if that makes sense. But I feel leveled enough and I feel like I'm getting things done quick enough that I will have enough time to have enough videos to post consistently. So I'm gonna leave the link below. Subscribe to that shit, please. I promise you I did not forget about that channel. Like, I'm totally gonna make that shit happen, okay? Anyway, let's get on to what this video is about, okay? The fucking Bonnaroo trip from hell. So I did not go to Bonnaroo by choice. I'm just gonna put that out there right now. I am not a festival person, okay? I'm not Pillar. I don't like that's not me. I don't know if you could tell, but that ain't my shit. Okay? I don't like crowds of people. I don't like sweaty people. I don't like people that smell bad. And I don't like being uncomfortable. Those are things you just have to be okay with if you want to go to a fucking rave. I don't know if Bonnaroo's a rave. I don't know. What's the difference? And this is no offense to people that like raves and festivals, because I know there's like a cult following for that. And like, do you, boo-boo? I'm just not, I don't feel like going. Like, leave me alone. I actually went to Bonnaroo for work. So this was when I was doing Vine. I wasn't doing YouTube yet. But basically, I was flown out with a group of Viners, and we were all put up in a house about 45 minutes away from Bonnaroo, and we were basically there to advertise the showers. I know that sounds fucking weird, like what does that even mean? But like, that's what we got paid to do. I guess we had to remind everyone to take a shower because everybody's so fucking nasty at that shit. I'm not gonna say the brand of showers or anything. I'm sure you guys can figure it out if you wanted to. It's really not important. But basically, a company sent us out and we had to do a certain amount of posts for this shower company. Whatever, we get on the plane, we go, and I was trying to look at it on the bright side. It was a free trip. We got free tickets to Bonnaroo. People would kill for that. We didn't have to stay in a tent at Bonnaroo. We had a house 45 minutes away. I was like, okay, this could be good. This could be good. When we landed, we met the guy that was gonna take us around everywhere. I don't wanna say he was a babysitter, but like essentially every time you travel with a group of like social media influencers, there's like one babysitter who's there to make sure that you've like eaten, that you get to places okay, and more importantly, that you actually post. So we got there and we met the guy, and he was kind of nice. Like, I mean, he was whatever. I remember the first night that we got in, we all ate at some random fast food restaurant because there was like no places to eat by our house. And then we went back to the house and he like got on the schedule of Bonnaroo and tried to like get everyone to stay on one schedule, like, oh, let's go see this show, or do you want to see this show, or whatever, because there's like a bunch of musical artists there. This is getting confusing. At these festivals, there's a ton of artists and they're all playing at different times on different stages, so you have to kind of pick and choose who you want to see. And so we were doing that the first night and he seemed cool. Like, he was like, oh yeah, you guys can just like do whatever you want. Like, it's not a big deal to me. We could go to like one show and then you guys could be like at a separate show. It's not a big deal. And so the next day it was time to go to Bonnaroo, and that's when he started kind of like turning on us a little bit. He was the one that rented the car, or at least he rented it under the company's name or whatever. And he was the one that was responsible for driving us to and from Bonnaroo. Both at the house that we were staying at and at Bonnaroo, there was no cell service. The only time I got to talk to my mom or anyone was when I was connected to Wi-Fi, which is terrifying when you're in the fucking middle of nowhere. So apparently the morning that we were supposed to be going to Bonnaroo, he was texting everyone, but nobody got it. Mind you, we're all staying in the same house. He could have just like gone downstairs and like knocked on our door. He didn't. He just texted everyone. Nobody got the text message, and he's like, everyone meet at the car now. So nobody goes because nobody gets the fucking text message, and all of a sudden he comes down and he's like, hey, I'm gonna leave you guys if you don't just come upstairs right now. We gotta go. And I thought that was a weird way to put it. Like, why do you have to say I'm gonna leave you guys? Like, it's not that serious. Like, I didn't even get your text message, but okay. We went to Bonnaroo, and Bonnaroo I want to say is like 4 days. Like, ugh. Oh my god, just thinking about it makes me tired. But it's like 4 consecutive days and people camp in the parking lot and all that shit. Whatever, we get there and it's a super long walk to Bonnaroo, but I was like, you know what, Jesse, you're gonna make the best of this, you're gonna get fucking drunk as shit, and you're gonna have a great time. There was no rules or anything that we couldn't drink. I mean, no, it's a very laid back event. They knew we were going to Bonnaroo. They didn't expect anything crazy. They just wanted us to have our posts up on time, and then other than that, we could do whatever we wanted. Throughout the day, we obviously lost each other. Like, we would go our separate way, they would go their separate way. There was like 5 of us in total, and then this guy in the beginning didn't really tell us like, oh, we have to meet at this spot at this time. Like, he didn't tell us that. I think maybe he was relying on cell phones, but like I said, the cell service was horrible. So when it got around that time to meet to go back to the house, which honestly I don't know why I said when it got about that time, like I had no idea what time it even was. It just got dark and then I didn't know what was happening anymore. I wasn't even drunk, I was just sleepy as shit. I wanted to get out of there. So when I started wanting to go home is when I started to try and do some investigation, and I started walking around looking for people, and I found this guy, the babysitter, we'll call him, and he was not happy. He literally was like, where is everyone? I've been calling everyone. Where is everyone? And I said, I mean, you didn't try to call me, did you? He's like, yeah, I tried to call you too. And I was like, oh buddy, I mean, there's no cell service. And he was like, well, I'll leave them. I'll leave them. They better come in like the next 10 minutes or I'll leave them. Which sounded so stupid to me. Like, it's literally your job to make sure that we get to and from this house okay. Nobody was disrespectful. Nobody was belligerently drunk. We were all just like doing our own thing, which is what we were told we could do. It's not anyone's fault that the cell service was bad. Nobody was being like a juvenile person that just like didn't know how to communicate. Like, no. And that's when it clicked in my head, like, ooh, this guy's gonna turn on us at some point in this weekend. Eventually, I guess everyone was getting tired and they all just ended up like flocking towards where we were. So lucky for them, I guess, because they would have gotten left. We left that night, but I remember when we got to the house, I told them, I was like, he wanted to leave you guys. Like, it was really weird. And they were like, really? Like, he didn't even try to call us. And I was like, well, apparently he did, but I don't know. The next morning, he did the same shit. As if you don't learn that nobody's getting your text messages, he waited in the car, just sitting there by himself, not knocking on anyone's door, not telling anyone that we had to go, sitting in the car, just letting his anger like fester inside of him. We all knew the general time that we were supposed to be upstairs, but we figured that like he would just tell us when he was ready. I'm telling you, this is just such a stupid fucking story. Whatever, same shit happened. He got pissed that nobody was on time. We got to fucking Bonnaroo. The same shit happened, only this time he said at nightfall just meet by the Ferris wheel. But mind you, Bonnaroo is filled with crowds. If you want to see a show and you want to be like front row, which is like almost impossible, you're gonna have a lot of people to push through to get back, and even then you have a long way to walk before you get to the Ferris wheel. So if you say meet at the Ferris wheel at sundown, you gotta give people a little past sundown to get there because it's a long fucking walk. And I'm not even saying that to defend myself because my ass was there at sundown. But a few of the people in our group hadn't been there and he was losing his shit. And he said again, he goes, I'm gonna leave them. That's it. I'm leaving them. I'm done. I'm leaving them. And I'm not gonna lie, this is when shit started getting me very upset. I told him, I was like, but are you actually gonna leave them? To which he was like, oh, I'll leave them in a heartbeat. I'll leave them in a heartbeat. I'll leave right now. And that just annoyed me so bad. Just so bad. He was just annoying me so bad. Long story, even longer. The next day, he did the same shit in the morning. And I think this was the last day because we didn't go all the days to Bonnaroo, but this was like the last day we were there. I remember the night before, we had all like huddled up and we were like, let's steal his keys. Because we were scared he was gonna leave us in the morning because he was threatening to leave us every step of the way. Which, mind you, he can't do. I don't know what he thought in his brain. I don't know if he thought he could just like take the car, go to Bonnaroo by himself. Like, I don't know if he thought that would be fine. But you can't do that because you were hired by the company to come and drive us there and make sure that we're okay. And every step of the way, you're fucking telling us you're gonna leave us. But this next part is why this is the Bonnaroo trip from hell. The last day, I was fucking exhausted. Do you think I wanted to be at Bonnaroo that day? No, I didn't want to fucking be at Bonnaroo. It was hot. I was just so over it. I was sunburnt from the 2 days before. I was not having it. So I didn't even spend that day drinking. I was like chugging water the entire day because it was so hot. I was so dehydrated because I had been drinking the 2 days before. And I just, I wanted to get the fuck out of there. This day we had to leave a little earlier because we had to go on a flight that night. So I remember him saying, he's like, oh, we gotta meet at this time and there are no exceptions. To which everyone at this point was just like, okay, buddy, I mean, whatever you say. I don't want to sound like I'm inconsiderate, but like literally every time that someone had been late before, it was like 5 to 10 minutes late. At an event like this, I would consider that a success. Only 5 to 10 minutes of being late. You're trying to get 7 people who weren't together before in one group to go back to the house. If everyone's just a few minutes late, like you just need to relax. I think he was on some sort of power trip. I don't know. But that day, he especially annoyed the shit out of me. My fuse was so fucking short that day. I knew it. I knew it going to Bonnaroo that I was gonna blow up on him. And mind you, he was hired by the company that hired me. It's not a good look for me to fucking blow up on this guy, but I gave no fucks. I didn't care if this company never worked with me again. I literally did not. I was so upset. So he actually stuck around us for most of the event that day. A few of the other people like went their own way, but when he told us that it was time to go back to like the entrance to meet everyone, I said, okay, but I need to get water. I am super dehydrated. To which he replied, okay, go ahead, get water. I'll be waiting over there. I go and get water. Mind you, there's lines for everything. So I wait the line to get water. I walk back to where the group was, or at least most of the group, because not everybody had met up yet. And one of the kids that was in our group looks at me and is like, you know, he just told me he wanted to leave you, right? And I was like, what are you talking about? And he was like, yeah, he told me that he didn't know where you guys were and that we had to go to the airport and he was gonna leave you. I shit you not. Just thinking about it right now gets me mad. My Cuban fire rose from the depths of my asshole, fucking through my nipples. I walked up to him, but I didn't say anything yet. I just walked up, crossed my arms, and waited because I knew that he would say some dumb shit that would give me the opportunity to go ham on this motherfucker. So I'm just standing there and all of a sudden he's like, where is this person? He was referring to someone else in our group. And I said, probably on their way because they know to meet us. And he said, well, they better be on their way because if not, I'll leave them. I literally, I lost my shit. And I looked to him and said, you're not gonna fucking leave anyone. He jumped back and he's like, excuse me? And I said, yeah, just like you haven't left anyone all these days, you're not gonna leave anyone. You're gonna take us to the airport and you need to stop being such an asshole about it because everyone is doing their best to meet on time and just because they're a few minutes late doesn't mean you're gonna fucking leave them. You can't leave us. To which he was like, you don't know who I am. I'll leave their ass in a second. I left Daystorm in an airport one time and I'll leave anyone. I don't know who you think you are. And when he pulled the I don't know who you think you are card, I looked at him and I said, it's not about who I am or who anybody here is. It has nothing to do with numbers and I don't give a fuck about shit like that. These are human beings that you are in charge of. You're supposed to make sure everyone's okay. You're not supposed to be an asshole and threaten to leave everyone every 2 seconds. I told him that I was gonna email his boss, to which he responded, oh, you obviously don't know who I am then. And I said, I don't give a fuck who you are. He kept saying that I didn't know who he was and I needed to respect him and whatever, and I literally just said, fuck you. I just said, fuck you. I gave no fucks at that point. I know that wasn't professional. Cherry on top of the cake was that he was rushing everyone, right? He was like, we need to get to the airport. We need to get to the airport. Everyone was trying to grab food and everything that they could at Bonnaroo because we were all just starving. And we were in such a rush for the airport that when we were on the way to the airport, he stopped at McDonald's and nobody else ate. He was the only one that wanted McDonald's and he got down. He didn't go through the drive-thru. He literally stopped the car, got off the fucking car, went into McDonald's, sat down by himself, ate McDonald's, left us all in the car, and that's how much of a rush to the airport we were in. At the end of the day, of course, we got paid to be there. I don't want to sound like a fucking brat. Like, it wasn't that big of a deal. But this guy was extra annoying. Like, woo! He was like a special breed of annoying. I ended up emailing his boss, who did end up saying, oh my gosh, I'm so sorry. We've had issues with him in the past and I'm gonna work it out. Thank you for telling me. And I did tell him too. I was like, listen, I straight up told him, fuck you. So I'm not in the right either. But he sucks too, okay? But yeah, I've worked with the company since, so I don't think they got too upset at me. That's my Bonnaroo trip from hell story. Fuck that guy. Anyway, don't forget to leave your comments down below for what you want me to ask the guy who I wrote bitch please about. Make sure to catch up on those videos so you're all caught up for that. Thank you guys so much for watching. Please subscribe to my channel. I put out new videos every Tuesday and Saturday, and I will see you on Saturday. Bye! And I am happy being alone. I like being alone more than I like hanging out with most people. But then there's that one moment at like 3 in the morning, you're just laying in bed and you just want someone there.